サポーターのチャントの中、今スタジアムに入ってこられました。高ぶるものがそこさらに高まったんじゃないかと思いますが、いかがでしょうか。
そうですね、やっぱり本当にね、ホームだっていうね感じが出ますので、またこれをねピッチの中でも感じられると思うと、嬉しい気持ちでいます。
開幕はいきなりの F マリノスとの対戦、ビッグマッチになります。この戦いの持つ意味、どんなふうに捉えていらっしゃいますか。
やっぱり本当に、ね、34分の1ではないというか、当然決勝戦のつもりで戦いますし、勝ち負けもちろんありますけれども、それ以上にねやっぱり一つはこのホームで、開幕戦で、2023年のね J リーグの開幕ですので、やっぱりそういう意味でもいろんな人にねワクワクするようなゲームをしたいというところで、なおかつ勝つと、そこにしっかり持っていきたいと思います。
チームの仕上がり状況はいかがでしょうか。
いや本当に意欲的にね、それぞれの選手がやってくれていますので、多少いろいろね怪我人とか、ありますけれども、でもそれでも、いい形で来ていると思います。
新しいことにもトライされているという情報も出ていますが、今日その姿というのは見ることができるんでしょうか。
いやゲーム状況だと思いますね。それもあくまでオプションというか、勝つための、一つのものであって、それが目的ではないので、
期待してます。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
いよいよ開幕の日を迎えました。スタジアムに到着して今どんなお気持ちでしょうか。
I think the first emotion is excitement. It's nice to have football back. It's nice to start the season once again and get into the competitive games.
まずはですね、本当にこのスタジアムに到着してようやく始まるぞというもうワクワク感ともう興奮にね包まれた自分はいますし、本当にね準備してきたところをしっかり出せたらなと思っています。
初戦はフロンターレ戦です。このカード楽しみだとおっしゃっていましたが、どんなところが楽しみになりますか。
Yeah, I think firstly as a spectacle, two teams that are going to be very aggressive. So first and foremost for football, I think that's great. And from our perspective, we really want to find out tonight where we're at. We think we've prepared well over pre-season. Of course, we had a game last week, and it's a good opportunity for us to really test and see where we're at.
皆さんご存知のように、両チームとも似たようなサッカーがね展開される中でどういう風になっていくのか、そういう部分がすごく楽しみにしていますし、自分たちも今どれだけのところまで準備できているのか、しっかりね準備してきた自信はねある中で、現在どこの自分たち位置にいるのかっていうところも確認できると思いますし、もちろん先週自分たちはもう試合もしていますので、そういうところからどれだけね伸ばしているのか、そういうところも含めてですね、今日の試合に関しては本当にテストの部分もあると思いますし、しっかりねやっていきたいなと思います。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
すいません。
Welcome to a new J-League season, and it's a blockbuster of an opening Friday night fixture between last year's top two. Kawasaki Frontale up against the team who took their title as they host Yokohama F Marinos in a Kanagawa derby with which to kick off the campaign. The Tricolor finished 2 points clear of their rivals to claim a fifth J-League crown last year after a race that went to the final day. Between them, these clubs have taken the last 6 league titles and are both hoping to make a statement at the start of a new season in which they are expected to be the front runners once again. A hugely anticipated tussle, this one, with which to start the new season. Tickets selling out within 5 minutes of going on sale. It's a season which promises much for both of these clubs. There have been changes, there usually are, since last season. Both rebuilding to an extent. Marinos starting with silverware last weekend in the Super Cup, which they won for the first time in their history, but that was all part, really, of the preparations for tonight. This is where the journey begins. A tantalising fixture against their greatest rivals currently. Head-to-head at the start of the new season. Friday night J-League under the lights as the curtain is raised on another new season. 30 years since the introduction of this division. 2023 starts with a hugely anticipated meeting of 2022's top two and the two most successful clubs in recent seasons. The cities of Kawasaki and Yokohama, separated only by a 20-minute drive or so in the Kanagawa prefecture just outside Tokyo. These clubs separated by just 2 points across a 34-game season last year, a title race that went to the wire. Both now looking for a fast start to the new campaign. The stage is set at the Kawasaki Todoroki Stadium. Moment for these sets of players. This is what all the pre-season plans have been building up to. Moment of silence ahead of kick-off in memory of the victims of the recent earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. And now we are about to get a new season underway in J-League. 31st season in this division. Since 2016, has there been a team other than one of these two with their name on the trophy? It's the significance at the start of this season, with these two going head-to-head. The Kawasaki Frontale team actually shows just 4 changes from that which began the win at FC Tokyo on the final day of last season. The notable departure is Shogo Kaneguchi, who has joined Al Rayyan in Qatar. Shintaro Kuramaya comes in at centre-back. There are also starts for Asahi Sasaki, for Daiyo Tono, and notably up front for Taisei Miyashiro, who was out on loan at Sagan Tosu last season, but gets his chance here with both Leandro Damiao and Yu Kobayashi starting the season on the sidelines. Frontale naming 4 of their new signings amongst the substitutes. Yamamoto is tonight's referee. He's been on FIFA's international list for a dozen years now already, and is entrusted with this season's opener. Futoshi Nakamura has the VAR responsibilities. Yokohama F Marinos make just the one alteration to the team that won the Super Cup last weekend against Vanfure Kofu. That's at right back, where Kan Matsubara comes in for new signing Takumi Kamejima. He begins this one on the bench. Ryota Koikai still out injured in that role. Takuma Nishimura and Elber got the goals in the Super Cup and could be key again, along with last year's top scorer Anderson Lopez. Goalkeeper Yohei Takayoka has gone to Vancouver in MLS, so there's a big opportunity for last season's backup, Paul Obina-Obi, who makes a first J-League appearance since March of 2021. Toru Oniki with 7 seasons in charge of Frontale, beginning another rebuilding exercise to an extent at the start of this season. Integral, he says, that they can reclaim the title won by Kevin Muscat and Yokohama F Marinos in what was his first full season in charge last year, having replaced Ange Postecoglou, under whom he previously assisted his fellow Australian. So here we go for a new season then. These two clubs have stepped the standards in J-League over recent years and will look to raise the bar again as they kick off 2023. F Marinos in their change colours, in the white, the familiar light blue of Kawasaki Frontale, prominent at the Todoroki Stadium. Well, they've been waiting for this. Chance to make a statement for both of these clubs from the start of the season, as F Marinos looked long for Anderson Lopez. Didn't get his goal in the Super Cup, but he played an important part in the 2 that they did score. An assist for Elber, and it was his effort that came back off the post, converted by Takuma Nishimura for what proved to be the winning goal 6 days ago at the National Stadium in Tokyo. 4 previous Super Cups they'd contested without success until Saturday. I hope it is only the start of this season's silverware. Yamane goes back to his goalkeeper, vastly experienced right back. Miki Yamane, 16 caps for his country. He's in his 4th season with the club now. He's going to be important at the back, particularly after the departure of Kaneguchi. Made the J-League team of the season last season. Frontale falling short by just 2 points. Victory on the final day at FC Tokyo wasn't enough. Yokohama F Marinos hit the front in the spring and stayed there last year. There is their captain, Takuya Kida. He's been with the first team for over a decade now. They lost a key player as well when Tomoki Iwata followed Ange Postecoglou to Celtic for this season, having a vacancy at centre-back. They're looking to put the pressure on here. Jung Sung-yorong, the South Korean goalkeeper, is the one who clears it away. And he has started the season as first choice, his 8th season, the experienced South Korean international. But does have competition for his place, with Kami Fukamoto, brought in from Kyoto Sanga. Beginning this one on the bench, expected to challenge for the goalkeeping gloves as the season goes on. Kida dispossessed in that midfield. Ikizaki was scrapping for it. One Hatanaka, and now Tsunoda alongside him at centre-back. That's the partnership with which Kevin Muscat has begun the season. Shortage of alternatives in that area as Elber looks to link with his fellow Brazilian Anderson Lopez. Free kick given right in front of referee Yamamoto, that one. His clearance is not a good one, and it's going to be diverted back in. And the opening goal is scored by the champions already. And it was something of a gift of a goal from Jung. Nishimura takes full advantage. Just 4 minutes into the new season. Guided back here to the goalkeeper. He had the time to take the touch, but it was cut out by Elbert. And perfectly placed by Nishimura. A scorer last weekend in the Super Cup. A scorer so soon into the start of the new J-League season. Kept his eyes on the prize and just guided it beyond the goalkeeper. Back beyond the goalkeeper. A super start for the champions. First goal of their title defence did not take long. Frontale not to be deterred, trying to build from the back despite the risk involved that has already been underlined in these opening exchanges. Already mentioned how he is likely to come under pressure for his place this season. Jung, who was sent off actually on the last day of last season in that victory at FC Tokyo. Nervy start to the new season. Here comes Frontale in response with Marcinho. And look at the ground that he's covered. Looking for support here, and there are 3 in the penalty area. Hatanaka gets the block in. Eventful to say the least. Right from the get-go. Marcinho was their 15-goal top scorer last season. Target in his last 3 games as well. Good ball. Hatanaka cuts it out. It will be returned with interest and deflected behind. And there has been a response from Kawasaki Frontale, as there had to be, as the home fans demanded that there would be. Tono it was with the effort that cannons behind for the corner. Title winner in his first season at the club. Title that they surrendered on the final day last year. Izaka waiting to take this corner kick. Deeper delivery, and the whistle has gone. Unable to profit on that occasion, Kawasaki Frontale. JCL likely to be a big threat up from the back in situations such as those. Didn't quite work out for him that time. It's the first half of last season through injury and perhaps never quite rediscovered his best form after that. He's hoping that a full pre-season this time around will make all the difference. Real fans' favourite, the Brazilian. He was in the J-League Best 11 in the previous 2 campaigns. Both seasons that ended with Kawasaki Frontale taking the title. Again, they've surrendered possession inside their own half here. The referee will step in with Watanabe down. That is why he is down. Confident start from F Marinos. You have it here with Elbert. Beautifully done, linking with Nagato. Has to get forward from fullback. Can equally drift inside and add numbers to midfield as well. Katsuya Nagato. His possession-based game, so familiar from F Marinos. Anderson Lopez here might actually get on the end of that. Not what he was intending initially. It's his compatriot JCL that just beats him to it and brings the ball away. Kimura had won it back, but only briefly. Although Frontale really finding it difficult to keep hold of the ball right now in these early exchanges. Watanabe, starting his 5th season in Yokohama. It's the difficulty for any club in J-League that is so successful is then keeping hold of their players. That is why there usually tends to be a sizable turnover each year after a successful season. That's certainly a successful ball, which releases Marcinho, and Matsubara makes a timely challenge. Had to get that right. No doubting that Marcinho is going to be the danger man for Frontale, as he has been over the course of the last couple of years at the club. In terms of scoring goals and making them, he tends to be the main man. Up from the back will be an obvious target in what is a very congested penalty area. Certainly that 6-yard box, it doesn't quite get that far. And if Marinos will look to counter here, the Bears done really well. Covered good ground. Tono went all the way with him to get the foot in. In from Bahia in Brazil a couple of seasons ago. Albert, he scored 8 times last season, making the J-League best 11. Started the season by applying the finishing touch to what was a wonderful team goal at the National Stadium in Tokyo last week against Fanfare Kofu to put them in front in the Super Cup. Nishimura going on to score the winning goal in the second half, and it's his goal that remains the difference early on today. Yamane did well. Sasaki to Marcinho, and the fullbacks continued his run here. Sasaki cutting it back. Chance maybe for Tono, which he couldn't quite capitalise upon. Furumayo will keep it in. 4-time title winner with this team. It's his 10th season now in Kawasaki. Started the season at centre-back, as we expected he would, since the departure of Kaneguchi. He played much of his career at the club on the left-hand side of the defence. So his ability to bring the ball out from the back has perhaps earned him the nod in the middle today. Likely to remain that way in the early weeks of the season anyway. Got options here. Quite get as far as Miyashiro, who has a big opportunity today as the starting centre forward. Just signs in the last few minutes that Frontale have recovered their composure after the early concession and are beginning to dictate the tempo a little bit more now. Everyone in this league knows what to expect in terms of the style of play you will face up against F Marinos, but dealing with that style, doing something about it, is a different matter. Very much possession-based. Part of the City Football Group, who own a 20% stake in the club. It's not an unfamiliar style to their sides around the globe. And great success last season in taking this title. Winners as well in 2019. 5 times J-League champions. And there is a free kick here, much to the frustration of the visitors. Zelber's challenge, and he didn't get the ball, did he? making contact with Wakizaka just after the ball had gone. No stranger to a tough tackle or two during his playing days. Kevin Muscat made a fairly seamless transition from assistant to head coach in the summer of 2021. When Ange Postecoglou, who he was previously working with, went to Celtic. It's a good ball if Marcinho can reach it. And he acknowledges the intention there, it's just a little too strong. They will take heart from the space that he found. Yamane dispossessed. Jessio will leave it for Kuramaya to guide it back to Jung. He's not really been involved since his part in the opening goal. Obi will clear it away, taking over that sweeper-keeper role, really, from Takayoko, who was so important in last season's title victory and earned a move to MLS. Been negotiating in the last couple of weeks with the Vancouver Whitecaps. Big chance for Obi, who was unused on the bench in all 34 games last season. That's a really good ball in, and it's just wide from Anderson Lopez, whose reaction would suggest he will feel he might have done more with that. Pumped wide by Nishimura for Mizunuma to provide the cross. And he was well positioned, Anderson Lopez, in front of goal. Now Marcinho at the other end, as it goes from end to end. Can he get the shot away? Well, he did, but it didn't carry the power to extend Obi. He would have been worried for a moment here, with the Brazilian in full flight. Comfortable for the keeper, playing a J-League game for the first time since March of 2021. There was definitely an opportunity for him to establish himself as the first choice this season. They did bring another goalkeeper to the club, Hiroki Ikura, returning to the club, actually, having previously played over 200 games for F Marinos, but it seems that he's been brought back in the role as a backup on the bench, the now 36-year-old. Signed from Vissel Kobe for this season. He's amongst the substitutes today. Marcinho, seeing plenty of it on that left-hand side. Jung's clearance will go from one goalkeeper to the other. Spent much of 2021 out on loan, Paul Obina Obi in J2. Stepping up to the top flight today, finding Nagato. Second season for Katsuya Nagato at the club after a couple of years with Kashima Antlers. There's Elba looking for Nishimura. It's just going to skip away from him. Plays in that attacking midfield role, though, Takuma Nishimura. Scoring in back-to-back games with which to start the season. He got into double figures in J-League last season as well. That was his first year at the club. Now it might open up here for Tono, who is in behind. Big chance, big save. And can they profit from the follow-up? Not quite, it's wide from Yenaga. As close as Frontale have come. Move that started deep inside their own half, just opening up space. And it was a little too easy to slip Dayatono through and in behind. Obi equal to the effort as he got down smartly. And the experienced Akihiro Yenaga couldn't quite force in the follow-up. But more promising this for Kawasaki Frontale. Found their feet in the game now. They're beginning to control the game. They're beginning to increase the pressure. Here's Tono. Reach Marcinho is able to bring it down. Yenaga tries to return it to him, and it goes instead towards Miyashiro, who was challenging the goalkeeper. Ultimately, the attack is thwarted. But the attacks are beginning to increase in frequency as we reach the 20-minute mark, and Frontale go in pursuit of parity. It was offside against Marcinho earlier in that move. It did look that way at the time. And at the end of the passage of play, did the assistant raise the flag. Kawasaki Frontale are unbeaten in the last 10 home games in all competitions, dating back to their surprise Emperor's Cup defeat in June against Tokyo Verdy of J2. It was a disappointing season in terms of the cup competitions for them last year, as well as losing out ultimately in defence of their league title. They failed to get out of the group stage, surprisingly, in the AFC Champions League. Both of these clubs, of course, will contest that competition again when it starts once more in August. Here's Anderson Lopez, denied by a swift challenge. An important challenge from Kuramaya, although there was a flag up. Just offside. Plenty of J-League experience. It's only his second season with F Marinos, and it was such a successful first one for him. But his 7th year in total now playing in this league, formerly of San Frecce and of Consa as well. So we reached the midway point of this first half on opening night. And this is the moment that still separates the sides. Chun getting himself into all sorts of trouble, really. But it was really coolly taken by Nishimura. He so precisely picked his way past the keeper into the corner. And that was the reaction from Kevin Muscat, just the start to the title defence that his team were hoping for. He's not thinking, says Muscat, about the season ahead as a whole just yet. Only focused on this opening fixture. That's what all the pre-season preparations have been about. Here's Marcinho taking on Matsupara, and they've worked it well, and it was there to be hit. Enough back in white in the way. That one happened right in front of Kevin Muscat as Elper went down. And this was threatening. No surprise that Marcinho was heavily involved initially. The block was by Nagato. That's the free kick that followed for the challenge on Elbert. line of the starting 11 for the champions, hailing from Japan. There's 2 Brazilians in attack, another 3 Brazilians on the bench in reserve tonight. No overseas players permitted in any matchday squad. .46 caps he won for Australia during his playing days. 8 years he had playing in the UK. Crystal Palace with Wolves, Rangers and Millwall. And promotion to the Premier League with Palace and a playoff final at Wembley. Game number 64 in charge of F Marinos today. Kevin Muscat having signed a new contract to stay for this season. Sonoda will guide it back to Paul Obina-Obi. Kida. Anderson Lopez was his target, cut out by Kuramaya. Well won by Marcinho. Out of his area, will loft it longer. He's trying to mix up the attack a little bit. Not unusual to see Frontale go from back to front pretty quickly on occasion. Not necessarily part of the regular game plan, but they certainly have it as an option. Dropping deeper. Marinos do like to press high up the pitch when they have the opportunity to do that. We've seen already the rewards that can be reaped from closing down the goalkeeper. It's neatly done by Miyashiro. Two likely to be ahead of him in the pecking order at centre forward, out at least until March. Leandro Damião and Yu Kobayashi. It's opened the door for Miyashiro in the starting lineup. His return from his latest loan spell. Scored 4 goals in his last 7 appearances for Seigen Tosu last season. 8 goals in total in J1. Kida was quickly closed down and dispossessed as a result of that. We're looking for Yenager, it didn't quite get that far. Does have it here though, Akihiro Yenager. Been closely marshalled and couldn't find a way through. He was their joint top scorer last season with 12 goals. It's his 7th season at the club, he's 36 now. Former Japanese international. Although it's a dozen years since he won the last of his 3 caps for his country. Yamane has 16 caps to his name with Japan. He's made the best 11 in the last 3 years in J.League. Taki Banada. Marcinho. The initial ball was behind Miyashiro, but he has it here! And he's so unfortunate not to score as he thumps it against the frame of the goal. Well, a little bit fortunate maybe how the ball ended up at his feet. But he brought it under control beautifully and crashes it against the angle of post and bar. Those are the merest of margins that we're talking about. Frontale have been getting closer, and none more so than that effort from Miyashiro. Determined to force his way into this team this season on a regular basis. That would have been some start Frontale buoyed by that near miss. Come again, Marcinho looking for Miyashiro again. He's getting much more into the game right now. Mizunuma, well, diverted away from danger, but no more than that. Seen plenty of early evidence inside this opening half an hour of the threat that Marcinho can provide. That has been well documented over the last couple of seasons. Miyashiro maybe with a bit more to prove. The signs for him today have been promising early on as well. So loan spells in 2019 and in 2021. Tokyo-born Miyashiro has been kept by Japan up to under 20 level. They've worked it well again. It's into a dangerous area, just a little too close to the goalkeeper. Wakizaka it was who played it in, and Paolo Binaobi who came to claim it. And the F Marinos lead remains intact half an hour into the contest, but it's looking increasingly under threat. And they're just overrunning it. Every bit as important on the F Marinos left as Marcinho is to Frontale. Potential match winners everywhere you look. Tanaka will guide it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Maybe just about had time to take that extra touch in there. Could come back at him yet. Wakizaka. Yenaga. Teasing one in. And Matsubara was content to leave it and let it go behind, despite the presence of Marcinho. Really good attempt from Taisei Mishihiro. JCL, enough on that, back for Young. Marinos really well adept at winning the ball back in those sort of areas, though. Nagato infield for Anderson Lopez. Watanabe. They do get the free kick here, but Frontale are trying to take them on at their own game at times in that part of the pitch. They will maybe feel a little unfortunate that time. Decision going against Ayatono. This is Tsunoda. Elbert. Supera working it wider for Mizunuma. Couldn't quite force away beyond Sasaki. He's done well, but found himself outnumbered. And they're back in trouble for a moment. Wakizaka steps in. And the free kick will afford them that little bit of respite. And that is typical of what this Yokohama F Marinos team can do. Applying pressure in numbers. Winning the ball back in dangerous parts of the pitch. Well, we almost brought that under control beautifully, did Marcinho. That switch is on at times today. Yamane is more than capable of providing it as well, of playing that crossfield ball. Obi's clearance. Forward by Nagata. Into all sorts of space for Elbert. Does have support arriving now. He was looking for Anderson Lopez in the middle. Yamane helps it away as far as Yenaga, and has it back again here. Once more, though, there is a foot in from the visitors to win the ball back. It's with Watanabe in midfield. Elbert. To Watanabe. Frontale with plenty back behind the ball. And that's 2 games of last season to take the title, having lost the previous 2. That's what almost led in Frontale, who finished with 4 straight victories last season. Nishimura trying to close down, sense an opportunity again. And there may yet be one. Watanabe. And Supera. Got the nod at right back ahead of the new signing Kamejima, who was signed as a centre-back from Kashiwa Reysol. Played on the right in the Super Cup and impressed. Furumaia, always the favourite to get to that one. It's gone the other way, switching from full-back to centre-back of late under Oniki. Watanabe, seeing plenty of it just at the moment. Trying to pull the strings in midfield. Mizunuma's made the run. His first couple of caps for Japan last summer in the East Asian Championship. It was effectively a second-string squad that contested that competition as the throw comes in towards Anderson Lopez, and it was there to be here. Deflected away off Jesse L for the corner. Tanabe that struck it. Had to take it first time, but it was an inviting one for him. It bounces away off the Brazilian for the corner. Plenty forward in white, awaiting the delivery, which hasn't been dealt with yet. A little bit of a miskick from Hatanaka. Watched over his bar by Jung. No, it was deflected, I think, on the way over. Nagato, who struck it, and yeah, it just brushed off Wakizaka for another corner. Katsuya Nagato to take. Past 150 J1 appearances last season, did Nagato. Anderson Lopez on the end of it, got his head to it, and it's turned in by Elbert to double the lead. The champions are 2 up on opening night. And just as in the Super Cup last weekend, Elbert joins Nishimura on the score sheet. Just the quickest to react as he got his foot to it first. Anderson Lopez having nodded it down into that dangerous area. And Elbert, scorer of 8 league goals last season in taking the title, wastes no time in opening his account for the new campaign. It is some start to their defence for Yokohama F Marinos. Derby day in Kanagawa is going the way of the champions so far. Goals early and late in this first half. Well, they both won their home fixtures when they met last season. Frontale were winners here by 2-1, thanks to a goal 9 minutes into added time, but it would take a dramatic turnaround today. They have lost only one of the last 6 meetings between the clubs, winning 4 of them, Kawasaki Frontale, including victories in each of the last 3 derby games here, dating back to November of 2019. A 4-1 Marinos win was their last victory in these parts. This would be some occasion with which to change that, with which to end that recent wretched run. And they are well on their way. Yamane with a throw. Well, there are plenty who feel that Kawasaki Frontale have plenty to prove if they are to regain their title this year. I'm not necessarily convinced too many with the business done during the off-season. You never quite know. Marinos actually made a sluggish start to last season after a big turnover in the previous campaign. They won just one of their first 5 games before going on an incredible winning run. 13 victories in 15 took them to the top before the season reached its midway point, and they never surrendered that first position in the standings. Well, the flag has stayed down here against Mizunuma, and now it does go up. The champions have hit their stride. Impressive in winning the Super Cup against second-tier team Vamphore Kofu, who went on that remarkable run to win the Emperor's Cup and the first trophy in their history last season, beating 5 J1 teams on the way, but they weren't able to beat Yokohama F Marinos at the weekend, and they maybe are all the sharper for that display. And a yellow card here from referee Yamamoto. The first of the game is for Mizunuma. Awkward one to attempt from behind on Sasaki. And it's cost him a caution. But all the onus on Kawasaki Frontale. They are the team that need a lift before the break. Could get a goal back at this juncture, and it would change the narrative entirely. VAR just having a little look at this, I think. Didn't take too long. Just the yellow for Mizunuma. Oh, one back well again. Watanabe forward. Cut out here by Kurumaya. Jung, and again his ball out from the back, almost landing his team in trouble. Elbert has it now in a very promising position. Anderson Lopez, big block as soon as it left his boot, and Yamane brings it away. Tricky Bonada can't quite pick the pass, which is cut out by Hatanaka. Look a little clumsy, that one. It's taken quickly. Yenica. Nominally stationed on the right-hand side of the attacking triumvirate, but has the freedom to drift infield as he often does. Trying to create an overload on the other side. Kurumaya, it's a good ball. Marcinio trying to get there. Well-timed challenge from Shinosuke Hatanaka. Kept his eyes on it and got his boot to the ball first. Yokohama-born centre-back, setting out on his 6th season with the club. Yasuto Wakizaka will take the corner kick. And menacingly, and the goalkeeper hasn't completely dealt with it yet. Tono resisted the temptation to return it immediately into the danger area. Taki Banada. Yamane. Senior was the target for the longer ball forward, read by Hatanaka and reached by Kida. And a wonderful ball has got Elbert in again, just delayed a fraction, which enabled Jung to save with his legs. It was very nearly 3 right at the end of the first half here. That crossfield ball doing all of the damage. Tuck it in his stride. Goalkeeper did well, because it was on target from Elbert, looking for his second goal of the game. The South Korean makes the stop. You've seen the danger from corners already, though. And another one here for F Marinos in the last minute of this first half. Nagato to take. Didn't beat the first man this time, but he might get another go here. Got the ball back from Watanabe. It's with Nishimura. Elbert turned into trouble. 2 added minutes at the end of the first 45. Toru Aniki is certainly going to have the more to think about when the teams head for the tunnel. They lost one of their last 8 league games at the end of last season. These were the top 2 scorers last term in J1. Marinos managing 5 more than Frontale. 2 more already today. As Yamane guides it back to his goalkeeper. Jung certainly hasn't been put off, playing those short balls out from the back. It could come back at him again here. Nishimura in towards Mizunuma. Yenaga deep in his own territory. They've extricated themselves from the situation well, Frontale, to turn defence into attack. Tono to Marcinho. He was calling for the return ball. It's still with Marcinho. Blocked off and no way through. But if they are to get back in the game, then he is the most likely outlet from what we've seen so far. No surprise in that. Player who certainly has his suitors. It's a strong challenge, wasn't it? Tanaka just stepping across, and there is the half-time whistle. And all the problems for Aniki and the home team, because Yokohama F Marinos have been dominant in the first period in terms of the scoreline anyway, scoring both early and late in the first half. Nishimura got them off to the perfect start. And Elbert doubling the lead before the break. Frontale had seen plenty of the ball. They'd come close through Miyashiro with the effort off the woodwork in between. But they trail by 2 at the interval on the opening night. The champions seemingly set to make a statement at the start of their title defence. They'll certainly be delighted by what they've seen so far. At half-time, it is Kawasaki Frontale 0, Yokohama F Marinos 2. Well, welcome back, almost set for the start of the second half then at Kawasaki Todoroki Stadium, where Frontale trail by 2-0 at home against the champions. F Marinos have been clinical in front of goal, despite the fact that Frontale had a lot of the play in that first half. And have made a change. Yanagawa replaced by Segawa for the start of the second period. No surprise, really, that Toru Oniki has opted to change it. Experienced Yanagawa was maybe struggling to get into the game. Segawa, a new signing from Belmare. After 4 years at Kashiwa Reysol, he was brought in on the wing. Regular for Belmare last season, scoring 3 times in this league. He was one of 4 new signings that began the game on the bench for Frontale, but it's the first that has been called for. Ahead of a second half where they will try and turn their fortunes around. So they had their chances, had a lot of the ball. Oniki's team in the first period. Miyashiro with one off the angle of post and bar. Underway then for the second half. Kawasaki Frontale getting the game back underway in the sky blue and black. Azuro Nero need more. They will take some heart from the performance in that first half, but they just couldn't quite capitalise in the manner that Marinos were able to do. Those early and late goals, but that was a little careless at the back from the champions. Shimura, who started the scoring early on, just 4 minutes into the match, is dispossessed. First involvement for Segawa. Wakizaka did well to win it. He's continued his run. Yamane offering an option from fullback as well, looking for Marcinio, who rose to try and meet it. Good effort, guarded goalwards by Sasaki, and then just wide. He was first back to his feet on the end of the opportunity with Marcinio. And having done that bit, he'll have been disappointed not to score here. Really strong start to the second half from Frontale. And it's only a fraction away from that far post. Blocked with the chest, importantly, and not the hand. And then just wide from the Brazilian. He was a feature throughout in the first half in leading the Frontale attack. Really have set about this second period with renewed optimism and intent. Key to court though, the F Marinos captain wins the free kick. Snapping into challenges, those in the sky blue. Lopez, and it's going to fall for him here, forced a little wide, and it is only just wide when the shot came, although it wouldn't have counted. But further evidence of the problems that he can cause. He was trying to hold that run, to bend that run, but just offside. Marcinio at the other end, reaching this ahead of Matsubara. Marcinio, it hit Tanaka. Not been dealt with yet. Miyashiro. Wonderful footwork on the touchline from Taisei Miyashiro. Wonderful tempo about the game at the start of the second period. Taki Bonada. Marcinio. And Lopez was able to cut that out and has continued his run. Taki Bonada went with him and the captain was caught. Named the skipper for this season. His 4th season with the first team, having joined out of university. responsibility in leading the team this year, having been entrusted with the armband. To the departure of Shoko Taniguchi. Not only was Taniguchi perhaps the best player in the team, he was the leader of the side as well. Having to cope without him this year. And that will break for Nishimura. Able to pick up the pieces. Unable to get his shot away. Referee well positioned, tells him to get back up again. Sasaki. A bit too tight, Sonoda. Left Miyashiro on the floor, but Kawasaki Frontale are taking the game to the champions now. In fairness, they did that really for the majority of the match without being able to find an end product in the first half. A bit more menace about them coming forward now. Tono took his time. Just delayed before getting the shot away, and Obi comes and claims. Just put the brakes on in time. Tanaka, this is Matsupara. No way forward for him. Goal back for Frontale at this juncture, and they really would believe there's still something in the game for them. Sasaki wants to keep it in. Shiro's been neat and tidy so far. So unlucky not to score in the first half. That effort off the woodwork as close as they've come. Jung clears it away. A bit more distance on his clearance this time. Marcinho, it's going to hold up, I think, for him to keep it in. It does. Wonderful footwork. He was away initially from Matsupara, but just couldn't quite find enough at the end of it. Still looking likely, though. Short trip for those from Yokohama. Today, the city of Kawasaki effectively serving as the narrow band between Tokyo in the northeast and Yokohama to the southwest. Here they come again, the home side. There's only about 20 minutes or so between the cities. 16.5 kilometers. Wonderful Derby Day atmosphere with which to start the season. It's just over 26,000, the Kawasaki Todoroki Stadium. Sounds like more. Anderson Lopez, he's been dispossessed, he couldn't quite hold on to that. Marcinho. Sasaki. Switching the play for Sagawa. Good effort, hit with power from the substitute. Bounced once in front of the goalkeeper and they only lost twice at home in the entirety of last season, Kawasaki Frontale. Joint fewest home defeats in the league, the same as Marinos and Urawa Reds. Work to do if they're to avoid opening defeat here, but they look in the mood. Teased in, free header! Ah, so close. Tono was perfectly positioned, it seemed, and primed to score. Just couldn't quite get his angles right in front of goal. Had it been on target, then Obi might have argued he would have got fingertips to it. Big chance, though. And Frontale in such a situation right now that they can ill afford opportunities like that to go wide. And take heart from the manner and indeed now the frequency with which they are creating danger. Marcinho, and still, as he looked to go all the way through, Ryotaro Sonoda stepped across to deny him that opportunity. This is fabulous opening day fare in J-League. Last season's top two, as promised, going toe-to-toe tonight. Corner kick to come. Yasuto Wakazaka will take. Set pieces have always been a big part of their armoury. And that's not a bad one at all. Rising up from the back was Kurumaya. Come back maybe for Taki Bonada here to try and dink one in. Everybody has stayed forward inside the penalty area, awaiting this delivery. The presence of Nagato ensured it didn't get that far. His block took the sting out of it. Obi comes and claims. But F Marinos have had to withstand significant pressure in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Not to mention a couple of scares in front of goal. Miyashiro, Marcinho. Painful one for him. Called inadvertently, I think, by Ken Matsubara. Actually got to the ball first and it ballooned up and hit Marcinho in the face. He's the joint top scorer in J-League last season, Marcinho. Target in each of their last 3 games of last year. A brief spell playing in the Chinese Super League before his arrival in the summer of 2021. Been a key player really ever since for Frontale. Kida's clearance wasn't convincing, but it did help it further away from trouble briefly. Yamane working it wider. Segawa, 4 in the penalty area. It was rolled towards Wakazaka. It was telegraphed somewhat, though, as was that. Neither team quite able to play the passes intended. Very little time on the ball for anyone right now. And that's beautifully done. Wakazaka creating some space. Segawa. Yamane. See what he was trying. So too could Sonoda, who steps coolly across to clear. Anderson Lopez is so effective in those sort of situations. Provides the out ball. And now Nishimura just lost his footing. He threatened to gallop clear and in behind. Those are the fine lines that Frontale are having to tread right now in search of a route back into the game. They're going to be susceptible at the other end at times. Bit of an issue here for Shintaro Kurumaya, by the looks of things. This would be a concern at the start of a season which has begun with a number of key players already on the sidelines. Pretty innocuous, they're coming together on the halfway line with Anderson Lopez just after the ball had gone. Already without Leandro Damião, the MVP in the 2021 title-winning season. And Yu Kobayashi is out injured as well at the start of this season. No involvement for Chanathip Songkrasin today, the Thailand international either. Does look as if Kurumaya is going to be okay. Certainly want to keep a close eye. He's just waiting for word, actually, as Aniki. It may be that a change is imminent. He was a key part of the title-winning team back in 2017 and 2018, their first two J-League titles. Made the best 11 in each of those years. And he's not going to be able to carry on. This change will happen here. It's going to be a debut for the new signing, Takuma Ominami, brought in from Kashiwa Reysol for this season. He won his first cap for Japan last summer. Signed a one-year contract for this campaign. And is expected to challenge for a regular starting spot at centre-back. New signings just having to bide their time whilst they get up to speed with the style of play of the club under Aniki. But Ominami is called for a little earlier than anticipated. An hour in on opening night. Here come Kawasaki Frontale in search of a route back into the game. Marcinio teasing that cross in. Tono challenging for it. It's away by Matsubara. They will perhaps wonder just quite how they do trail by two at this juncture, given how the game has gone the home side. Sagawa. And again from Wakizaka. Nishimura to Elbert. He hasn't really been in the game in the second half yet. His reactions inside the 6-yard box key in stretching the F Marinos lead late in the first period. Still affording them that little bit of security in terms of the scoreline. It's 15 minutes since half-time have really all gone the way of Frontale, but it's not been reflected on the scoreboard yet. Yokohama F Marinos J-League ever-presence. It's the 31st season of this league. They've featured in all of them. They are the longest-serving team in the Japanese top flight, going further back. First playing in it in 1982. It's only when J-League was formed that they turned professional. Good defending to do here. Taki Banada. Door was closed quickly enough. Zunama. Elbert is just behind Nishimura. Enabled Yamane to win the ball back. Very content to let that one go. Mizunama asking a bit too much of Watanabe, who was then caught. Rather painfully, judging by the manner in which he stayed down. Chessiel thumped the ball straight at him and struck him really under the rib cage there, winded him. Doesn't always get the headlines, Kota Watanabe, but an important figure in the heart of midfield. Sasaki, lovely weight of ball. In towards Miyashiro. He will settle for another corner. Wakizaka to take. Deeper delivery. And up from the back was Jessiel. Couldn't quite connect as intended. 6 goals in this league from centre-back for the Brazilian. The vice-captain of the club is in his 5th year with them now. Suffered a serious injury actually at the end of the 2021 season, which kept him out last year until August. Now, breaks favourably for them, but they're thwarted by the whistle just as Miyashiro was about to come away with that because Takuma Nishimura is down. I certainly feel, well, Taki Banadada there, that the ball was there to be won. Nishimura relatively quickly back to his feet. Free kick given. Signs in the last few minutes that F Marinos have just been getting a grip on the game again. Restricting the chances more recently. It's back for Anderson Lopez. He's looking for Elbert. Jessiel just got there first. He's still got work to do to get it clear. Strikes it against Elbert. Changes seemingly imminent. Shin Yamada being readied for a debut. Sasaki. Heading towards the closing quarter of opening night. And Kawasaki Frontale, who've thrown plenty at this already, need to find some more from somewhere. Wakazaka. Sagawa. And towards Tono. Couldn't really control it as he flung out his foot. Marinos kept 13 clean sheets in taking the title last season in J1. This would be hard-earned if they're to claim another with which to start their defence. Still a big if at this juncture. Point of this second half. Elbert's ball forward is not a threatening one. The onus on the home team. Cut out by Kida. So as he feels the responsibility, the honour of being named captain again. He's a one-club man, Takuya Kida. Back in 2007 when he first joined the youth ranks. They advance here with Mizunuma. Quite reach Anderson Lopez. Elbert is battling for the bouncing ball. Nagato, Elbert. Third at this stage, and they'd be all but out of sight. Anderson Lopez. So difficult to shrug off the ball with back to goal. Tsunoda. Congested calendar to come for both of these clubs this year. They will hope so, at least, both involved in the group stages of the Champions League after last season's top 2 finish. to improve on disappointing campaigns the previous season, which is yet to finish. Actually, the final still to come in a couple of months' time. Urawa Reds will be in it, representing J-League. New season starts in August, through until May of next year. Sasaki, for all their recent domestic dominance, these two teams have never been able to put a run together in that competition. Wakizaka. Many now back behind the ball in white. That's the challenge that Frontale are going to have to overcome in this closing quarter. Trying to create some space from somewhere. Marcinho may yet still be able to make something of this. Looking for support. Sasaki providing it from fullback and standing up the cross, which will come through for Sagawa. And then the shot was rather snatched at somewhat and was never troubling the target. And we're going to see a double change apiece here, going into the last 20 minutes of the match. So Tono and Miyashiro are coming off, and on in their place comes Ryoto Oshima, and a debut for Shin Yamada. He signed a 2-year professional contract at the start of this season, having left Toin University. He will go into the attack, having risen through the ranks previously. And the champions respond as well, with a double change of their own. Matsupara and Elber making way, one of the goal scorers coming off. Eduardo and Jan Mateus both introduced into the action, two Brazilians coming off the bench to try and help their team over the line. Eduardo, a centre-back, and Jan Mateus, an attacking midfield player, signed in August of last year from Palmeiras, who scored off the bench in September against Belmare. Made 5 appearances as a substitute last season. He's yet to start a J-League game. He's on as well for the conclusion here. Elber's part is played, and it's a significant part as it stands. Scorer of the second goal. Looks like Tsunoda's come across to right back. Given the injuries they have in that area, it's a bit of a problem position at the start of the season. Yuta Koike is the regular in that role, but is sidelined at the start of the campaign. Taki Bonada. Jesse Yao. Captain almost caught in possession, did well actually to avoid that particular fate. But right now, F Marinos have the home side where they want them. First involvement for Mateus, working it wider. It's just in behind Anderson Lopez. Mizunama to return it dangerously. It was a deliberate attempt there just to guide that back towards Anderson Lopez. Maybe not quite the time for that extra touch. Flag up a Frontale free kick. Jan looks for an instant impact. So hard an attack, Anderson Lopez. The first line of defence really, as well as last season's top scorer. His 11 league goals last year was matched by Leo Ciara, who has since departed the club. He was one of the more significant outgoings in the off-season, and joining Cerezo Osaka, their potential title rivals for this season. Fascinating to see how things settle down at the start of this season brilliant opening weekend of fixtures. Now they've worked this well, have the home team. Still hasn't been anything at the end of it. And Yamada looking to make a difference. And there's the shot from Marcinho. Didn't trouble Obi with this one. Some good work from Oshima, the substitute. Finish wasn't really threatening. Goes down as an effort on target. They're just starting to run out of time, Frontale. Oshima. There's another that has been with this club throughout his career, setting out on a 13th season with the senior side now. Went to the 2018 World Cup with Japan. Didn't make an appearance in Russia, has won 7 caps for his country. On a high here after the victories over Germany and Spain in the World Cup in Qatar. All of that squad began their careers playing in the J-League. Wakazaka. Have to be so precise, though, if they are to pick a way through. Yamada. Been an excellent defensive display from F Marinos so far. Kevin Muscat's team really well drilled at the back. And now threatening at the other end, maybe. Nishimura having linked with Anderson Lopez. Can't quite bring Jan into it as well. Mane. Anderson Lopez. How often is he the one on the end of situations such as that? It will be a free kick. It will be another change for the champions. Kenta Inoue is going to come on for his debut. Take the place of Mizunuma on the right-hand side of the attack. Signing from Oita Trinidad on a 2-year contract ahead of this season. Marcinho setting off on a search down that side, though, straight away. Segawa. And still. And look at how quickly they got back to him and the numbers with which they got back to him. And now Jan on the counter-attack. Well, they've been brilliant at dealing with the danger, Yokohama F Marinos, for most of the match. Still sends maybe a third goal to wrap it up. Likely to get chances given how Frontale are having to chase it, having to push players forward. Wakazaka. Toki Bonada. Nami stepped across. Here's Jessiel. Last dozen minutes of the 90 now. Wakizaka. Again, he was trying to thread it through so precisely. Always came for Yamada. Sasaki. Done well here. have done really well if he can find something at the end of it, but it's cleared away convincingly. Anderson Lopez is going to be penalised. The assistant referee was right in line with that. The changes keep coming. Another one for Frontale, and the introduction of Zhao Schmidt off the bench in place of Wakizaka. Little surprising maybe that the Brazilian didn't start the game. He's expected to be a regular in the defensive midfield positions. Can play the lone pivot really in front of the back four. Formerly of Atalanta in Serie A. He's now in his third season. The Sao Paulo-born player, had a couple of years with Nagoya. Just changing the dynamic a little bit in that midfield for the closing stages. Well, they still harbour hope, but time is not on their side. It's the visitors on course for Derby Day success with which to start their defence. Difficult start to the season, certainly for F Marinos in terms of the fixture list. Arawa Reds next up, the Champions League finalists. And a game against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, who were third last season. Sinio almost away, and that has been something of the story for Kawasaki Frontale, almost. And he will continue to put himself in those positions, and both coaches will continue to utilise their benches. Joel Shima Fujita is going to come on, so too I think is Marcus Jr. in a moment. First change will be in midfield for Fujita in the start of his second season. Will replace Captain Kida. In the heart of midfield, the 20-year-old won a couple of caps for Japan last summer. Kida hands over the armband as he vacates the scene. Eduardo will take over as skipper, and Fujita will take his place in midfield. And Marcus Jr. on for Anderson Lopez, who's certainly put a shift in for his team. One Brazilian for another. Former Fluminense player is on for the closing stages. Top scorer in 2019 when they took the title. Again, it's a well-weighted ball by Oshima, which was looking for the run of Marcinho. Zhao Schmidt involved straight away. Minami back to his goalkeeper. And this is Jesse out. Everybody still coming under pressure though, with ball at feet, even that deep in their own territory. It's been a huge effort from Yokohama F Marinos. And no sign of that physical effort catching up with them just yet, but now there is space on the counter-attack for Kawasaki Frontale. The ball in towards Yamada needed to be better though. He had made the run, but it was too close to Obi. Substitutes were attempting to combine. Shima couldn't quite find Yamada. They'll keep on coming though. And this is Yamada. And it's just shepherded away and behind by Eduardo. That's the experienced coach, his 7th season in the job. He's approaching 300 games in charge. He had previously worked in the backroom team before taking over in 2017. He won the title, Toru Oniki, in his first season. Won it in 4 of his first 5. Crucial, he says, that they take it back this term. But this could be game over because the substitute is in and was surely about to score when the challenge came in. Penalty given. Marcus Jr. caught. And the chance to settle it from the spot for the champions. He will feel he had no option but to make that tackle or to attempt that challenge to Jessia. Free kick taken quickly on halfway, just being played onside. And so difficult from there for Jessia, who didn't quite get the ball, I don't think, dangled out that right leg. And it was always the likely outcome as Marcus Jr. went down. No margin for error, no. Didn't get near the ball. It's a definite penalty. It's a yellow card for the centre-back. And it could be the perfect opening night for Yokohama F Marinos, who've suffered at times in this second half, who've soaked up so much pressure in preserving that two-goal first-half advantage. And now heading for the final 5 of the 90. And then we'll have the chance to score the third to clinch all 3 points. Having won it, he is getting ready to take it, Marcus Jr. He didn't manage a J-League goal last season, actually. He has 35 in his career. He was used more frequently off the bench than he was from the start in 2022. The new year has started in similar fashion for him, but is it about to start with a goal? Jung to face. 15 career penalties saved down the years, but conceded both that he was up against last season. Check, I think, is still officially going on here. Hence the little wait for Marcus Jr. Let's have another look at it in the meantime. Each angle appears slightly different, doesn't it, as to whether he got the ball first or not. Yellow card and penalty was the call from Yuday Yamamoto, but he's been advised, I think, to change that to red. Jessiel sent off instead. But where was the initial contact? Well, his season starts with a sending off. The goalkeeper was dismissed on the last day of last season. Kawasaki Frontale will end this one with 10 as well. But I think it's going to be a free kick rather than a penalty, which is why the yellow became a red instead. Oh, it's close, isn't it? Could argue that the contact was continuing inside the penalty area. His evening ends early, and a suspension to come for the centre-back. But a free kick rather than a penalty to come for F Marinos. This will only extend the late drama, given the length of the stoppage for the review. So close to being inside the area. It was initially given by referee Yamamoto. Ultimately, it might not matter too much with a two-goal cushion already to fall back on for F Marinos, but they'll still sense their chance to wrap it up here, albeit not quite as presentable opportunity as a penalty would have offered. And they will have the extra man in the final minutes as well now. Nagato and Eduardo standing over it, along with Marcus Jr. Does look as if Marcus Jr. will still be the favourite to strike it. No, Eduardo, the centre of the picture, looks like he fancies it as well. It will be Marcus Jr. It's spilled by the goalkeeper. And he couldn't quite force it in. Jan Mateus on the follow-up. The wall was ultimately academic there, but it cannons into the chest of the keeper and away. Been able to get that third goal, but the F Marinos fans behind that goal seemingly not too concerned right now. Their team have a corner and a 2-goal lead, but nothing comes from the corner as we enter the last minute of the 90, although as mentioned there will be a fair few more you suspect to add on from here very shortly. Drama in a derby that was rarely likely to disappoint, and has been an excellent watch on opening night under the lights in Kanagawa. Kawasaki, the second most populated city in this prefecture after Yokohama. And the two teams trading blows in recent seasons, and again tonight, the pinnacle of Japanese football. 6 added minutes at the end of the 90. The majority of those because of the late drama. The penalty that wasn't, the yellow that became red. And if Frontale can find something here, it could still be a nervy finish, a dramatic finish. Rosinho. It will come through for Sasaki. Time to look up and put it back! And they're back in it! Steered in by the captain, Taki Bonada. Hope restored for Frontale in stoppage time. They've got another 5 minutes or so to salvage it. How they've had to wait for their reward tonight. The miss kick from Inoue let in Sasaki, and he had the presence of mind not just to flash that across goal, but to precisely cut it back to pick out his captain. And Kento Takibanada does the rest. There's only 2 previous J-League goals, both coming last season. He had plenty to aim at there. And we are now in for quite some last few minutes. Only moments ago, really, where F Marinos thought they got the penalty to put the game away at 3-0. Now it's right back in the balance. And just as the title race last season did between these two, this one is going to the wire again. Marcus Jr. The tricolor try and respond. Nishimura to Marcus Jr. and back again. It will be a free kick as they try and steady the ship once more. Having to do it the hard way, Kevin Muscat's team at the end. They will argue, Frontale, that it's the least they deserve to be in with a shot at this stage, given the part that they have played in an excellent spectacle. They've conceded the free kick, Marcus Jr. waiting to take it. He does deliver dangerously, but only really had the one to aim at, and Jan Mateus couldn't reach it. Jung will clear it away. Plenty of purchase on that clearance. Fell at the feet, though, of Marcus Jr. Marinos just need to clear their heads and to see it through. Keep doing, really, what they have been doing. Well, he's certainly not noted as a goal scorer, Kento Takibanada. But he was in the perfect place to profit. First in scoring against Kyoto Sanga in October, having only scored his first J-League goal the previous month. in the draw at Nagoya Grampus. He got that goal with the 10 after the sending off of Jesse L. Have they got anything left, though, to try and pinch a point? Well, that's rather reckless. In no way caught by Zhao Schmidt. It's cost him a caution. I don't think he can have too many complaints, really. I do suspect, though, there'll still be time for at least another attack or two from the home side. But F Marinos have settled down to their task of holding what they have. Marcos Jr., they look to extend what they have here. It almost fell for Fujita. Now they have to hurry back at the other end. There's the Route 1 attack again, and there's the free kick. In a position of some promise for Frontale. Yamada's caused a few issues since coming on. Well, this would be some story. A reminder that when they last met, the winning goal was scored by Frontale 9 minutes into added time by Jesse L, who's of course since been sent off tonight. But even without him, Frontale still harbouring hope. But they can't profit from the free kick, and you do wonder if they will get another go. Schmidt penalised as he collided with Eduardo. Just that one little slip that allowed the ball to reach Sasaki is all it took for Frontale to find their goal, but that sort of slip just hadn't been there throughout the previous 90 minutes. And F Marinos almost there. No way. Trying to head, I think, for the corner flag. They just need to prioritise possession in these final few seconds, which are being played now only at the referee's discretion. Chase on for Yamane. He did well to get there. Found himself outnumbered. And Yokohama F Marinos begin the defence of their title with a vital victory at the home of their rivals, of their closest challengers last season, the team whose title they took. And they've kicked off the new season in style with victory in the derby. Hard-earned victory it was as well for the visitors, who scored early and late in the first half, who thought they had a penalty right at the end to wrap it up. Jesse L was sent off. That penalty was downgraded, though, to a free kick, and instead it was Frontale that had the final say in the scoring through their captain, Taki Bonada. But ultimately, it came too late. And the 10 couldn't quite salvage the point that they had pressed so hard for, that they'd given everything in pursuit of throughout the course of the contest. And they've come up just short on opening night, under the Friday night lights, to get the new J-League season started. A full-time score here of Kawasaki Frontale 1, Yokohama F Marinos 2. Great game, wasn't it, with which to start the new season? We expected it would be. Both of these teams harbouring ambitions to take the title, which between them they have shared in the last 6 seasons. Frontale winning 4 of 5 before missing out on the final day last season. And now, on opening night of the new season, they are left to reflect on what might have been, of what nearly was. A game in which they dominated much of the ball, but in which the champions defended with discipline and diligence and took their chances in the first half. Going in front just 4 minutes into the match through Nishimura. Doubling the lead before the break through Elbert. And seeing off significant pressure in the second half. Before Taki Bonada scored right at the start of stoppage time to briefly renew hope for the home team. And it is Derby Day honours for Yokohama F Marinos. The short trip home will be an enjoyable one for the tricolour. And Kevin Muscat's men have made the statement that they were hoping for at the start of the season, adding to silverware last Saturday in the Super Cup with the perfect start to the defence of this title, which they will look to win for a 6th time this season. Soaking up those celebrations, certainly. A long road ahead, but the opening salvo has been fired emphatically by F Marinos. A real sense of spirit and togetherness was in evidence throughout the game. Let's get some post-match reaction for you now.
早い時間帯の貴重な先制ゴールとなりました。相手のミスを見逃さずというところだったんですが、まず振り返っていただけますか。
そうですね、自分たちの狙いとしてたところで取れたんでよかったです。
コースを読んで落ち着いて力を抜いてリラックスして打っていたようにも見えましたが、
まあそうですね、リラックスして打てました。はい
スーパーカップでゴールを決めたことですごくメンタル的にも充実しているという話もされていました。やはりいい影響がありましたか。
いやー、そうですね、まあやっぱ攻撃としては点が取れることは本当にポジティブなので、まあもっともっと後半みたいな試合をしてちゃだめですし、マリノスらしくもっともっと高めていきたいです。
スーパーカップに続いて公式戦2試合連続ゴール、そして2023シーズンのリーグ戦のファーストゴールを取ったことになります。これについてはいかがでしょうか。
まあ別に意識はないですけど、このまましっかりもっと成長していけるように、そしてチームのために点を取れるように頑張っていきたいです。
今日は声出し 100%、 そしてチケット完売の満杯の中での試合でした。これについてはいかがですか。
いや本当に最高の雰囲気を、まあアウェーですけどサポーターの方が作ってくれて、川崎のサポーターもそうですし、本当に最高の舞台でサッカーができていることを幸せに感じます。
今シーズンに向けて最後一言お願いします。
いや本当に一試合一試合しっかりみんなで積み重ねていきたいです。
ありがとうございました。西村選手でした。
The thoughts of Takuma Nishimura, who started the scoring just 4 minutes into the match. Elbe added to the lead before the break, and F Marinos were able to hold on despite that late Frontale goal that they had been threatening throughout the entirety of the second half, scored in stoppage time by Taki Banada. The new season is up and running, and so too are the champions. F Marinos winners at Frontale by 2 goals to 1.
めでとうございます。選手たち非常に笑顔があふれていますが、監督、今日のゲームどのように振り返られますか？
Yeah, look, there's many ways to dissect the game. I thought our approach and mentality was excellent to come away from home, an intimidating atmosphere to perform and take the game to the opponent was fantastic.
もう本当にね素晴らしい結果をね選手たちがもたらしてくれたと思います。この難しいねアウェーの地で、本当にねでもその中でもたくさんのサポーターにも駆けつけていただきました。もうその中でも選手たちは本当にねいい準備をして素晴らしいパフォーマンスをしてくれたんじゃないかなと思います。
立ち上がりからかなり厳しいプレスに行っていました。非常に連動したいい守備ができていたように見えましたが、監督もっとプレスをもっとプレスをと声をかけていらっしゃいましたが、そのあたり徹底されていたところなんでしょうか。
There were certain things within the game that we asked the players today, and the first goal comes from exactly that. So you can see that the players took a lot of confidence. As the game wore on, I thought we made it a lot harder than it should have been. Particularly when they go down to 10 men, we don't retain the ball as well as we should, and we concede a goal. But I suppose it was exciting for everyone watching.
そういう部分でも、特に自分たちの1点目はやはりそのプレスのところから、奪いに行って、点につながりましたし、そして、その後ですねなかなかうまくいかなかった部分も、ね、あった中でも、特に相手が10人になってから、失点という部分も、ね、踏まえてまだまだのところはありますが、その中でも、ね、本当にいいプレスっていうのは、ね、見えたなと思います。
連覇に向けて素晴らしいスタートが切れたと思います。今季に向けて最後一言お願いします。
Yeah, I mean it's like anything. If we would have got beat today, it's not a reason to get too emotional. But we happen to win, so it's the same. It's the first game. Yes, it's a good start, but yeah, we have to recover tomorrow and prepare for the next game.
まだね開幕戦でシーズンをねスタートしたばかりです。この1試合だけで喜ぶっていうのは、ね、まだ早いかなと思いますけど、とにかく次の試合に向けて明日しっかりリカバーをしながら準備していきたいなと思っています。
おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
数的不利な中で最後しっかりと意地を見せることもできましたが、今日のゲームどう振り返られますか？
そうです、やっぱりね、悔しい結果になったと思います。特にホームだったので、結果がね全ての世界なので、ただ最後の最後までね戦う姿勢だとか、あとはもうねチャンスの数ですね。やっぱりそこで決めきるかどうかというところになってくると思うので、もっともっとねチャンスを作る、もうこれしかないかなと思ってます。
序盤マリノスの激しいプレッシャーに少し苦しんでいるようにも見えました。早い時間帯の失点もありましたが、あのあたりどうご覧になられました？
そうですね、やっぱり前から来るのは分かってましたけども、でもそこもね含めて、しっかりと自分たちの形で崩せていければよかったと思いますし、ただそこに怖がってね、やってしまうと、今取り組んでいることもね進んでいかないので、そういう意味で言うとエラーはありましたけれども、ここから怖がらずに続けていくことが重要かなと思ってます。
準備されてきたことだと思いますが、山根選手が中に入るし、非常に明確な意図とまた形が見えた部分もあったと思います。監督、どのように評価されますか？
一つのオプションというかね、そういう形でしたけれども、非常にいい流れ